Good morning, everyone. It's May 31st, 2023, last day of the month. It's Wednesday, and we're here finishing up our watch list, just doing some levels. Good morning, everyone. It's May 31st, 2023, last day of Okay, so for today, I am watching for the gap down. I'm watching AMD. AMD is the gap down by 2.1% today. And let's look at our pre and for the gap down. I'm watching AMD. So with AMD, our pre-market low is at 121.91. Pre-market high is at 124.54. And then AI, it's an inside bar. Looking at the daily, pre-market low is at 40.29. Pre-market high is at 47.13. We're 6 minutes before the market opens. And then AAP. AIP is a float of 58.8 million, so not a low float stock. Had gap down by 29.5%. What is the spread? Spread is, be careful with this one, around 20 cents spread. Pre-market low is at 78.22 with a pre-market high all the way up here at 108.24. I do have a level here as well, and that is 87.18. I do have a level here as well. Alright, so that is AAP. AAP so far is the one that had the most gap down. Next one, PLTR. PLTR is a little bit of a pullback. We've created a doji here at the daily. So we're at 14.22. It's a gap down by 3.6%. Let's see if this one has a continuation play of going lower. So pre-market high is at 14.89 with a pre-market low of 14.07. So around 80 cents of a move, not a big move. So unless you're going to be taking a lot of shares, you really cannot make a lot of money out of this if you're only going to have a couple of hundreds of shares. So that's the level for PLTR. See here. Want to make sure that all my lines can be seen in the rest of the charts. So that's BLTR. Next one is gap down is Tesla. For Tesla, we also have this doji right here, but it's an inside bar. So pre-market low is at 198.37. Pre-market high is at 200.43. For a Tesla, that is a $2 move. That's actually very tiny move for Tesla. So let's just watch Tesla and see what this one is gonna offer. SPY now is having that pullback from yesterday. Yesterday's high was here at R4 all the way to 422, and the lowest that it went to was 418, and it closed at 420. So it gave us a good move yesterday with this move right here. Found a bottom at around 2, and that's the time that it went and touched and went beyond VWAP yesterday. So today we are heading lower. We are down by 0.45%. So that is SPY. Nvidia is also a gap down. We have this inverted hammer that was formed yesterday, and today we're heading lower than that. So our pre-market low is 393.17 with a pre-market high of 397.37. $4 move from Nvidia. I don't really see an A plus setup yet. So strategy today is sit on the sideline and see what the market is going to give us. This one is a very weak one. We have this 3 days where it's gapping up, and then now we have a big pullback. It closed yesterday by 71.66. Now it's 68. So yeah, that was a big pullback right there. So pre-market low and pre-market high is 71.29. We're 15 seconds before the market opens. Okay, so that is MU. EMPA is down by 16.4%. I saw this one in the scanner here. So now the market is open. So what we'll do now is just wait for the setup. I'm not seeing any potential opening range breakout yet. So yeah, we'll wait on the sideline here and see what the market is gonna give. SoFi is a gap up by 2%. Looks like it's about to fill the gap right here. That's this level in S3. So pre-market low is at 6.16. Okay, that's SoFi. AAL is a gap up. Had that move from 14.5 all the way to 15.1. Less than a dollar's move. A dollar moved. So, all right, so now that we have our levels, what is Apple doing? Apple is nothing. So AMD is filling the gap here. AI is an inside bar. This can test the level here at 37.72, the low of the body of this. So what I'll do now, since I do have my levels already, is to remove my pre-market data. So this is the one that I'm watching at the moment. So no positions yet. So just waiting here on the sideline. No positions yet. So no positions yet. So yeah, nothing going on yet. So let's see. AI. What is this SPY doing now? SPY is down by 0.47%. SoFi was strong, but it did open close to the pre-market low. What I've been seeing so far is there's not a lot of opening range breakout that's forming. AL touched that pre-market high and just did went all the way to R4. I don't like Tesla. Look at this big long wick right here at Tesla. Although Tesla looking weak right here based on the daily. AAP, this one was good for a short at this level at 79.26, but I missed my entry there. AMD, a good short here was at 123. What is SPY doing? Still having a little bit of a pullback there. Strategy in AMD is a short if this gives us a good opportunity. Starting a small position to the short side in AMD. Tight stop loss here at 122.95. So stop loss is 122.95. So tight stop loss here. So for those of you who's asking what am I watching, this is the stocks that I am watching right now. So AMD is about to stop me out. So still in that AMD trade. So lots of consolidation. So AMD got stop out with AMD. Okay, so SPY is at least moving. I got stop out with AMD. So AMD, yeah, was small loss right there. SPY is now above the VWAP. AI is still below the VWAP. SoFi is strong. Just went from 6 to 6.54. AMD here, let's see. AMD looking at the 15 minutes, it's still very strong. We're entering short in AMD here. The good short here would have been at 123.39. Expect a VWAP to be a support there, but the volume is picking up here. Still, the bid is having lots of orders here at the bid. I did not want to add here, although we're now at the VWAP, just because the entry is not A+. The perfect entry here was close to this moving average. Tesla is just an inside bar here. AMD could have made more if I added to my position. But yeah, the rejection here happened at 123.50. Lowering down my risk here. And this is not a lot of movements though, not a lot of volume. Apple is also having a little bit of a pullback. Tesla, nothing. So looking at AMD here, not a lot of volume. This one could be just profit takers right here. Thinking of adding to my position here if SPY is also weak. SPY is pushing higher, so that's not gonna help this trade. 123.3040. Lowering down my risk here again. I'm okay to get stop out here. 47, 44, 46, 62 is my stop loss. And looks like it will stop me out. Yep, so I got stop out with AMD. PLTR, I like how this one looks like to the short. Shorting PLTR based on this 5 minutes right here, this hammer, inverted hammer right here. This is a cheap price stock, so stop loss here, giving this one some room, is 14.45. So the support, and that is currently support here is at 14.2. So waiting for that to break the support, 14.2. What is Apple doing? Really any? All right, so let's look at the volume here. Volume is not there when we're pushing up. Highest of this candlestick is at 14.36. 14.36 right here. Let's see, we'll be adding to my position at 14.21. So 14.21, once it gets printed, then I'll add to my position. that was the test of that moving average. S4 acting as a ceiling there as well. Not a lot of volume here, so struggling still. 14.21 is the add. 14.26, 28 right now. Let me just share my screen. 14.21. This one has no imbalance. It's equal right here. AMD, I'm waiting for to short AMD still. Shorting AMD here. I did not see this one, but the good short here is at 123.36. 123.98 is the stop loss. BLTR, the ad that I was waiting for at 14.20 did not get to touch it, so that's why I did not get to add yet. AMD had that big rejection at the 9 EMA. I'm not gonna add here just because it is under the consolidation. If I add, Tesla is looking short here with that doji right here. The only thing that I don't like about Tesla is it's an inside bar. So this can pretty much just go back and forth. MU have touched the bottom a couple of times here. BLTR stopped me out. So yeah, it did test that. We did form that double top. First top, second top. BLTR is strong. AMD, I do have a stop loss right here. And Tesla is looking interesting still to the short. If this one, very tight range here from S3 to R3, 203 and 199. So let's look for an easier trade. Forming now a 9 EMA here. Hands is on the trigger to reshort this one. Bunch of ask here still. Not a lot of volume here with AMD. Trying to see for an easier trade. This one have touched this bottom right here. Have a reversal, but very cheap stock. 0.54 or 54 cents. Tesla is looking very bearish now. So Tesla, I'm shorting Tesla. It did touch this support right here. We have the inverted hammer right here. So since this is too high of a risk, I'm gonna do the next resistance here, which is this level 202, which is the wick right here, 202.32. So 202.32. Adding to my position in AMD. Still having that. Moving my stop loss here, 123.76. Tesla. the giveaway here is that inverted hammer right there. But expect Tesla to not be a big mover just because we are just on that tight range. So we have that support that's coming, yesterday's closing price. Once that is broken, there you go. Took some partial, moving my stop loss lower than my break even. Just trailing my stop here. I could have made more if I have more position. AMD, Tesla had a good move right there, but I don't have a lot of position, so what I'm doing is just trailing my stop. AMD, moving my stop loss here lower than my break even. Looks like it's gonna stop me out there. Tesla is already working, trailing my stop here in Tesla. This is the could have added to my position, but I wasn't able to. But the giveaway here was this inverted hammer. Had that rejection still. Tesla still working, just trailing my stop here. I don't know what happened with Tesla, but it's just because of the technical level right here. Inverted hammer, and yep, got stop out there, but that was a 722 trade. Okay, PLTR, looking at this one is looking bearish now with this rejection in the 9 EMA. So PLTR had that rejection. AMD is just trailing my stop here. I haven't put my stop loss here, 14.47. Added to my position here just because it's a cheap price stock. AMD, just trailing my stop here. PLTR, stop loss here is this level, this ceiling, 14.45. AMD, working here. PLTR, added to my position here. 14.44. AMD already working here. Lowering down my stop. PLTR, have to manage my stop loss, 14.45. So this is what I've been noticing. There's not a lot of opening range breakdown, but around this time, like 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, that's where the move happens. AMD stopped me out. It is still moving down, but it is what it is. So just, oops. Okay, so I'm out of PLTR. PLTR did not get to capture that big move because that wick got me stop out. Tesla, this is the level that I was talking about, the S3. It did touch the S3. So now this is no place to trade because you have the R3 there and the S3. You wouldn't know whether the S3 is going to act as a support versus a resistance there. So that would not be an easy trade. So looking for an easier trade. MU is looking bearish. AMD, this one can still be bearish, but I don't have an edge. We're close to it, the S3. So we could find an easier trade than that. SoFi. SoFi is getting interesting to the short at 6.73. Volume here is not there when we're pushing down. We'll be interested in shorting this if I find 6.73 prints. 6.74, 73. Shorting SoFi here. Let's see, this one is a bit of a risky just because it's been up by 11.4%. So this move right here is just a scalp trade. Added to my position here. Stop loss here is tight at 6.84. Giving it 1 cent up, 6.85. Added to my position to the short. We just lost the low of this candlestick. AMD still is a good short. Since I added to my position, just updating my stop loss, 6.85. Okay, looking for an easier trade. This one created that bounce in the R3. Good bounce, 20 cents move there. So among all this, Tesla was still the clean move with this inverted hammer, and then boom, bounce right there. SoFi is already working here. Still has big orders sitting right here, 6.56. Took some partial. Time to move your stop loss lower than your break even. And this one is a cheap price stock. It's just 6.88. So expect a bounce in the VWAP. But took some partial there again. And lowering down my stop loss lower than my break even. So this one is an easier trade. And that's what I mean when you don't want to touch those stocks that are not an easy trade. You want the extreme. Is it forming a double bottom? Is it forming a double top? This one have touched this level. This is your pre-market low at 121.94. But it looks like it's about to go lower than this. SPY is also heading a little bit of a pullback. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one breaks and go below this. So SoFi, I got snap out, but got 256 there. So that was an easier trade. Got stop out here. Bit disappointed with that because that could have been a green trade, but this week was the one that booted me out of that trade. So looking for an easier trade again. Look at this one. That was the false breakout right there. Looks like it bounced off of S3 and going to the long, but the volume is not there, so it still is testing that low of the day. Looking for an easier trade again. Tesla touched that S3 again. So let's count the touches it did in S3. 1, 2, 3. So S3 now is acting as a strong support here. Do we have the volume bar to support it? Big order sitting right there. If I saw this one touch 199 and it did support with a big ask, then I could have long this one, but right now no trades there because this one can easily reject the pre-market high, which is at 200.44, which is right now is acting as a strong resistance. Wow, Apple is strong, 177, 179, Apple is getting interesting. This is the high of yesterday, 179.06. So let's see how Apple will react with that high of the day or yesterday's high. Expect that that will be a good ceiling or a good resistance, that's why we created this doji right here. AMD still testing the low of the day and pre-market low right here. What's happening with the volume bar is medium size, so expect a consolidation there. This one, yeah, bounce off of VWAP. AMD have that support first acted as a support right there, 121.91. It did bounce there, but no trades to take there. So looking for another easy trade here. Rivian, not a lot of volume. This one was a good short as well, just because it lost this 14.85. AMD, yeah, still weak. Tesla, at the open, I did mention that this is an inside bar. Inside bar means it's just gonna go up and down between this level, 204 and 197. So 204 is right here, but we do have the R3 right there, and it's just going back and forth, that R3, S3. So looking for an easy trade. AI is an inside bar, not a lot of movements there. BLTR, this one still has room to go lower, but it's now at the VWAP, so no trades to do there. Nvidia, very tight range. MU have tested this bottom here a couple of times, but we still do have some place to go at 67.9. PLTR, this one was the move that I was waiting for. It went, okay, so this one is a short SoFi here. It did test 6.66, willing to short this again at 6.65, looking at right here, 67 right here, just because, okay, shorting SoFi here, added to my position, just because when it pushed up, we don't have a volume there. This one is still the high of the day, 6.84. It did found a support right here at the VWAP, but it can get tested again, and let's see if this can break the VWAP at this point, because this hammer right here did not even have the strength to test the high of the day. So added to my position here to the short, 6.62. Volume is not there, so I don't like that fact. So for this one, I am gonna have my stop loss at 6.8, just giving it some room. $6.8, using the body of this candlestick right here. Let's see if we found a bottom. Wow, BLTR, this is the one that I was waiting for, but That's the thing about having a tight stop loss. It stopped me out here. If I have a stop loss all the way up here, I should have been still in the trade. The only thing is, since I've been adding to my position, I needed to create a tighter risk, a tighter stop loss. Volume, let's see. Apple now. This one is just profit takers right here. Still not weak enough to short. Big order sitting right here. You have the hundreds there, 6.61. Added to my position to the short. Since I added, I'm gonna have to update my stop loss, 6.80. Testing the VWAP again. VWAP, expect the VWAP to be a support there. Nvidia is losing it, touching. Nvidia is touching the low of the day, 393. We do have some room there still. This is the pre-market low, 393.16. SoFi is already just lost the VWAP here. Just took some partial there. Moving my stop loss lower than my break even. It's the flush that I'm waiting for. We are now at 9 EMA. This one is already working in my favor, and now I'm just trailing my stop. We still have bunch of order at 650. So 650 here. If this one gets filled, then expect a big flush to 6.50. 6.52 now. Just lowering it again. About to get filled here, 6.50. We're now at 6.52, 6.51 here. So close to the top. So we're about to get filled. There you go. So that is the flush that I'm waiting for. Still a bunch of 650 here. So very bearish there. We do have that moving average there. So just trailing my stop. Moving average there acted as a support. Nvidia, let's see, it found the bottom. Waiting for this one to break 6.50. Bunch of orders still sitting here. We just lost the 9 EMA here. There you go. Flushed. Took some partial. Moving my stop loss. Just aggressively moving my stop loss here. If this one bounce back, I'm out of the trade and I'm totally okay with that. Nvidia is still heading lower, trying to see if it's gonna give us any good trade. Oh, this is the short. The good short in Apple is at 178.91 with a stop loss at 179.2. SoFi is still working here, so just trailing my stop here. This can just stop me out anytime, but I'm in a comfortable position, so that can just gonna be trailing stop here. And this is a cheap price stock. It's just a 6.47 with the 2,000 shares there. Yeah, that's not a lot of capital to use. I could have actually added to my position here, but I was looking for any other trades to take, so it's about to get me step out here. Yep, so I'm out with the SoFi trade. PLTR, this is the move that I was waiting for the short. So, you know, you cannot just catch all that's moving, but just a little bit of that move, if you get to catch it and you get to rinse and repeat, and then you're still going to be profitable. PLTR, look at that. Still is a good short right here. And the entry was, it was a good entry there. I could have re-entered here if I was not in a SoFi trade. Nvidia just lost the pre-market low here, but this one still has some room to go lower just because of this inverted hammer in the daily. So this is the time that you cannot wait for a reversal here to go long because you're against the daily candlestick. Tesla, on the other hand, is about to test the pre-market low 198 here. The only thing that I don't like about Tesla is this can pretty much just lose the level here as well. AMD just broke that pre-market low. Very bearish, still has some room for this to go lower, so not going to be touching that. SoFi was able to capture this move right here, and the giveaway is this one right here, the first red candlestick. Apple, yeah, this could have been a good short right here, 178. It's now about to lose the VWAP. And look at this one. I pointed it out earlier. The high of yesterday, which is 178.92, expect that would be create a strong resistance there. So remember that that's just a zone. So it went above that by a couple of cents, and after it touches that, that's where the rejection happened, and that's where you get this inverted hammer. So trying to see if we're able to capture any bounce from this extended Tesla, Nvidia. But no easy trades here. Wow, Tesla just lost that one. Look at that. I was short here, trailing stop got me stop out, but now it is still. So the level right here, the daily, it is about to test the low of yesterday, 197.64. 197.64, which is right now. So 197.64, expect a support right there. Big orders right here. If it bounces off of S4, and we do have big volumes coming up with a hammer that's forming in the 5 minutes, then that's a good place to go long. But without those ingredients, there's no point of doing a reversal here, because if it tested the support, the next support here is the body of this candlestick, which is at 193. So unless your SPY is heading higher, which right now is not, it still has some room to go. It can touch the 9 EMA. There's no place to have or to enter a position at the moment. Aggressive move here is to long here, but it doesn't give me the confidence that it's done heading lower. So I'm just going to be waiting for that. AMD, not a lot of volume when it's pushing up. Again, the daily is still very weak. AAL, this one could have been a good long, but there's not a lot of volume here. So looks like this one have reached the top right here. Look at this one, how the resistance Resistance is this line right here is my pre-market high, and previous couple of days that one was the high of this candlestick and this one. That's why at 15.10, that's where we found a good rejection. So this is the reason why I did not want to long Tesla. Some traders who are wanted to be aggressive in longing this one will have jumped at this doji. The only thing though is the thing that prevented me from longing Tesla is not the 5 minutes or the 1 minute, but looking at the daily. Looking at the daily, it can still have the support at 193. So this still, although this could have been a good short if I did not get stopped out here. But I like when stocks are getting overextended, because that's the time that you get to see some opportunity as well. Rivian is touching that low of this wick as well. Not a lot of volume though. You can see here as well in the bid ask that there's not a lot of order flow, but it's just really nice to watch Tesla, how this one is just really keep going lower. AI, now we have touched that low of the day, 38.10, still has some room to go here, all the way to 35. So no reason to catch a falling knife. Okay, Tesla, let's see what support did it find. Still has a lot of room here because Tesla looks like overextended in the daily. Apple, the one that I called out, this one could have been a short here, 78.91, and so far it's been working good. Like looking at Tesla here, look at how nice. Let's see, did we find a bottom with AMD? AMD, the low of this is the low of this candlestick, which is the high of this, and that's where we are having that support, 120.93. If SPY have found the bottom, this can be a potential for a bounce up, but look at what the SPY is doing. SPY haven't found the bottom yet. Okay, so let's see if Tesla found the bottom. Low of Tesla is this level right here. It could, but risk is high, so I am not going to be touching that one because this one can also just be a profit takers there. Nvidia have the S4 acting as a strong support there. Big volume here that stepped up. We're seeing some of the bounce here. AMD is looking good to the long. Okay, so I was trying to do a long, but I I entered a short position there. So let's see here. Okay, entering long at an AMD. So this one was an error right here. I was trying to do a long and I entered a short one, but flipped the position just because we do have this doji right here. Stop loss here is 120.76. Looking at SPY looks like it did find a bottom. So trying to see if it's a good place to add. This is the first bounce. Expect that it will test again the support, which is at S4. Trying to see if I can add to a position here. SPY is still consolidating. Added to my position with AMD. This is the pullback that I was. So stop loss here is 121.01. So stop loss there, the body of this candlestick. Looks like SPY has a fake out. Initially was trending higher and then still heading lower. So let's see if this is a fake out as well. I'm not confident just because of what the SPY is doing. So I am lowering down my risk here. This support right here. Not a lot of volume here though, when it was pushing down. Nvidia. So I don't want to add just because if I add right now, I will have to have a tighter stop loss. Tighter stop loss just gonna make me have I can get stop out easily with that. So SPY is consolidating and looks like it did find a bottom at 4.17. Nvidia as well found the bottom right here, 390. But I do have an open position here. Let's see, there is a big order here. SPY still looks weak. Yeah, I don't like that SPY still looks weak. But I do have my stop loss here just in case. So I have this one. So if SPY is heading higher at the moment, which it's not, then this is a good place to long at this level. But SPY is heading lower, so that can even affect my AMD trade here. But that's why I have my stop loss right here. AMMU, which is manufacturing, just had a good curl up right there. AI found the bottom at 38. Wow, AMD. Let's see if this is gonna stop me out here. That was so close in getting stop out. So let's see if this is gonna stop me out. 121.10. And yep, I'm out of that AMD trade. So that was a loss right there. So testing again this level. Okay, re-entering long here. Re-entering long, added to my position there. SPY, look at what SPY did, formed this hammer. That's why I re-entered AMD. Stop loss here, 120.78. Tesla, not a lot of volume here though when it's pushing up. Yeah, too risky to go long. Look at what Apple did. Apple did a V reversal right here. Nvidia looks so strong here. Small position to the long. Stop loss here is at 390.97. What's that? 390.03. Let's see, 389. My goodness, 389.97. AMD eventually moved. So now it's time to move the stop loss. So get very aggressive in moving my stop loss here with AMD. Okay, so AMD stopped me out. Nvidia, just moving my stop loss just a little below my entry. SPY looks like it did find a bottom right here, formed that wick. PLTR about to, I would like to long PLTR when it tests the low of the day. So this one is working in my favor, just aggressively moving my stop loss here. See, yep, so that stopped me out. Looking for an easier trade. AMD was able to capture that one, but that's just a small green trade. 92 could have made more if I did not got stop out here. Wow, SoFi now. Okay, so strategy in SoFi is a short. I would like this to touch first, test the high of the day. Look at how overextended this one. Big candlestick, small volume bar here. Shorted this one. This is the anomaly right here. Big candlestick, small volume bar. Stop loss right here is at 6.74. But I only have a small position, so planning to add to my position here. 6.65. Added to my position. Stop loss 6.74. Big volume here. Thinking of adding to the position just because it's a cheap price stock. 6.66, 6.67. Added to my position to the short. Tesla eventually found the bottom right here, but yeah, I'm in SoFi now, so I'm just gonna manage this trade. MU looks like a good short. AMD is heading higher now, but yeah. Added to my position here, SoFi. Since I added to my position, updating my stop loss, 6.75. Looking for an easier trade. Nvidia is having another pullback here. Same thing as SPY. Looking for an easier trade. A lot of volume here. This can take a while to consolidate because this one is no imbalance here. Having that 90 MA as a support, 6.62. Waiting for that to break that 6.62 support. AMD had a big, well, not a big one, but a rejection in VWAP. Waiting for that 6.62 to break. We're now at 6.61. Not a lot of volume here. I don't like that, but we are now below the moving average. There you go. About to hit the VWAP. Still looking bearish here. So the giveaway here was this big candlestick, small volume bar. This volume bar, this white one, look at that one. This one looks like this level right here, but look at how huge the difference is. Small candlestick, a big candlestick here. So the anomaly here is this. Looking for an easier trade. I haven't had any partials yet just because this is a cheap price stock. My average cost is at 6.64. So this level right here, which I'm gonna just put a line so it reminds me of where my average cost is. Big support there, 6.58. I do have a stop loss right here. Let's see. Apple looks like it is going to be testing yesterday's closing price, 177.3, and that can act as a support, but looking at the daily, still has some room for this to go down. Big wick right there. High here is 6.69. We are at the VWAP. Waiting for a more. Time to lower down the risk here. I don't like that it's just doing nothing. I needed to make sure that they're on top of each other because the way that I have my stop loss is a range. Let's see. Look at this one. This is anomaly right here. You have a big volume bar Well, a big candlestick, small volume bar here. I could have added to my position here, but I don't want to move my stop loss. So I'm keeping my stop loss here, but I'm not going to be adding to my position. Nvidia here had a rejection. Same thing as AMD had a rejection. I am at the open short bias on this because how it looks like at the daily. Okay, let's see. I'm a couple of cents away from getting stop out here. SPY is heading higher. So since SPY is pushing higher, looking for a trade that has a potential to push higher. This one had touched this level a couple of times, 390.1, but still looking so bearish though. Now looking at SPY, the 5 minutes at SPY is very bullish, so I'm gonna be starting a small position here to the long, just because the SPY is looking very bullish at the 5 minutes. The higher the time frame, the higher the probability that that play is gonna work. So stop loss here is just below this wick, which is 389.73. SoFi still having that consolidation, still looking weak. Nvidia looking okay. Expect a bunch of consolidation right here. AL found a support right here. Nvidia, very tempting to add. That SPY is just consolidating, so adding there means I needed to do a tighter stop loss unless SPY gives me a good confirmation that it is really heading higher. That's the only time to add. Looks like Apple found the bottom right here and now heading higher. So just giving it some time for some consolidation. A lot of volume there, although it did pick up here. Added to my position because I'm already green here. Took some partial. Moving my stop loss now higher than my break even. So even if this one stopped me out, I am still green in this trade. So this one, oops, looks like it's about, yep, so that got me stop out. SoFi on the other hand is just consolidating. Lowering down my stop loss here. I don't like that it's taking too long to consolidate. SPY did found the bottom. Lowering down my wrist again. Totally okay to get step out here. Just a lot of consolidation and I don't like that. Volume is dying here though when it's pushing up. Volume is not there as well. Waiting for a flush down, but there is no imbalance right here. $6.64. Lowering down my stop loss here now. This is my entry at 6.64. I'm just giving this one 3 cents. Totally okay to get stop out here. I'm done for the day. So at this point, just protecting my capital here. SPY is consolidating, but SPY looks like it had found the bottom right there. Still having that 6.63 as a support there. This bunch of consolidation right here, first candlestick, second and third, is just not worth the waiting for the move. Moving my stop loss at break even. That was an aggressive move to move at the break even, but just because it is not moving at all. So yeah, so that got me stop out. So I am done with my trade, and let's see, it's 10:45, so 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so let's do our recap. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades today. And let me get my pen. So I did 1, 2. Alright, so to begin with, let's look at what AMD did. AMD, looking at the daily, was very weak just because we have this hammer right here and we found a rejection. First candlestick that is red, we found a top there yesterday at 130.59, and today we opened below the yesterday's low. So AMD, I took it to the long and I took it to the short side. So let's see here at the pre-market, I do have my pre-market high, pre-market low. Okay, pre-market high, pre-market low. It opened right here. So it's in the middle of this level right here. Let's look at the 1 minute. All right, so in the 1 minute, what I saw was AMD looks weak. Why do I have the weak bias on AMD? Because looking at the daily looks like we have found the top right here, and it opened just with the fact that it opened below yesterday's low, and we have found this top right there. It had been going higher high, higher low for a couple of days now. So looks like we are having the first day of a pullback right there. So that's the reason why when I saw that it is consolidating, about to lose the VWAP, I went short right here. Stop loss is just above this consolidation right here, and I got stop out right here. So first stop got hit, and that was a loss. So AMD was a loss at the open. So this is, and that one was the exit. So I'm still short bias on this one. When I saw that we have the moving average, you have the 9 EMA, I went short at that loss of the 9 EMA or below that 9 EMA and was just trailing my stop, and I got stop out at the reversal here. So that little bit of a move was a break even right here. Now, since I am short bias with AMD, I keep on looking for opportunity to short this one, keep going back and forth about what the SPY looks like as well as the AMD. So break even trade, and then we have the top of the day at 124. This one, we do have that candlestick, did not even have the strength to test the high of the day at 124. When I saw that we're about to lose the 9 EMA, I went short, and trailing my stop, I got wicked out, but still was a profitable trade there to the short. So to the short, it was $92. It's clearer in the 5 minutes, but just wanted to dissect it right here in the 1 minute. So this is the part that I took AMD long just because we have found this bottom right here. So we found a support there. I found this almost doji looking. We have the S4 there acting as a strong support. So I entered long, added to my position, got stop out there, and the thesis is still valid. We have now first, second, and third bottom. So at that third bottom, still looking very bullish. I entered long at that time. SPY was also consolidating, and looks like SPY have found the bottom. So I went long again, and trailing my stop, was able to capture it all the way to the 9 EMA and was all out. So that one to the long is 180. So that is the AMD trade. Next one is NVIDIA. NVIDIA was, you have the R3, you have the S4. Yesterday, we have that inverted hammer, so very weak bias there. But if we zoom out the daily, look at what it did. This is the high of this previous candlestick right here. And this level right here, the red mark that I placed, that is the low of, just get my pen. This is my pre-market low, pre-market high, and you have the S4 right there. When I saw that it is having the S4 as a very strong support, so touch there, a wick was formed, and at the wick, you have the S4 acting as a strong support there. What I saw here was a big volume bar right here. Looks like all the sellers are getting exhausted, and that's the reason why I went long at the top of this doji right here. So top of the doji is long, stop loss right here, just because there's a big wick. It's just below this S4. Was trailing my stop. I was all out at this level, all out. Still, thesis still valid. You have the S4 acting as a very strong support. I went long, and then when it went higher than the wick of this, I went and added to my position, trailing my stop, and was able to capture it right there at the 9 EMA. Now, if I'm not having a very tight stop loss, I could have gotten this move right here, but I was not confident with what the SPY is doing just because the SPY looks very weak. You have the red bar, red candlestick there yesterday, and it opened below the R3 today. So very weak. When that happens, I don't expect a lot of follow through, and not having a lot of follow through means for me is mostly a lot of scalp trade. But with that, was able to get 498. PLTR was the short of the day that did not work out just because PLTR got me stop out. So initially looking at the 1 minute, short bias with PLTR because we have formed a doji at the daily. So what I saw here was at the daily we're losing and going below the 9 EMA, as well as you have that 20 moving average there. I went short right here. The way it looks like is there is this inverted hammer, so I went short below the body. Stop loss is about that above the wick. I made a room there with the wick. I usually just use the body just because it's a cheap price stock. So if I look at this, I have an entry of about 14.25 and stop loss is around 14.5. I'm risking 25 cents, and target there is testing the low, which it did not, but got me stop out. So when I saw that this stock is still very weak, you have the 9 EMA, I went short below the body of this candlestick, added to my position. I keep adding, and that add right there, just because of the add, I needed to create a tighter stop loss, and it stopped me out right here just because I have a tighter stop loss. If I have capped my stop loss, the S3, then I could have gotten this move. But that is the pros and cons of adding to the position. Adding to the position, you're capitalizing on the gain, but at the same time, you have to lower down your risk by lowering down your risk. And lowering down your risk meaning having a tighter stop loss. So that got me stop out, but yeah. So that was the only loss that I got is 110. Next one is SoFi. SoFi is very strong at the open, but did find and was able to do volume price analysis with SoFi. And what I saw was it is a gap up right here. This is the pre-market high, pre-market low. It did move already, have that massive move for a SoFi. This is already a big move. So from 16.10 all the way to 16.85, so like 90 cents move. I was looking for the first signs of reversal, and first sign of reversal is if you have a candlestick like this, let's say a doji. The next candlestick is once it starts to form and it goes below the low of previous candlestick, that is your first signs of reversal right there. So that was what I was waiting for, and it did created that one, and that's the reason why I was able to time this one, because the body of that candlestick I went short, added to my position because we're losing or we're going below the wick. Stop loss is just above the wick there, trailing my stop. Once we get to the VWAP, expect that will serve as a good support. So I started covering my position, trailing my stop, and was all out at this. Now the thesis is still valid because this one still looks very bearish. So when I saw that this hammer right here does not look very strong just because it did not even get to test the high of the day, and we opened the next candlestick open lower than the high of this white candlestick, I went short again below the body of this candlestick, adding to my position, and now trailing my stop. I was all out at this level, but partial right here, 25% of my position, partial again, 25%, trailing my stop, and was all out right here. So second trade to the short, and the first trade was profitable. So this one is profitable, this one is profitable, and then this one, I was waiting for another test going below the VWAP, so added to my position, and then it just took so long. This one took, well, that's 3 candlesticks, so 15 minutes. So I just went all out right there. That one was my last trade, and all out because I did not like that it's consolidating for a long time, and I am just done with the trade. So that's 10.45. And then the last trade is the Tesla trade. Tesla trade was the easy trade here to the short. I was short biased because of the daily. We have that doji right there. So you have a very nice higher high, higher lows with Tesla. Look at that trend right there. Continues to go higher. So what I saw though is today, comparing it from yesterday, yesterday have a doji. We opened below the doji, and we actually opened in between the doji. So this is what we call an inside bar. So strategy here is knowing that this high of this doji is going to be the high of the day, the low of the doji can be the low of the day. We basically just get to trade a pivot point, a Camarilla pivot point, wherein you have the R3, you have the S3, and it's just going to go back and forth that way. So when I look at the SPY is just still heading lower at that time. This time was 950, and SPY at 950 was at this level. SPY just about to go below the VWAP. So together with the SPY, I have thesis of being short bias with the stock has a higher probability. So what I did was, and the giveaway here was this inverted hammer. Inverted hammer, you have the S3 right here acting as the ceiling or a strong resistance. You have the S3 right here acting as a support. So what I did was, when I saw this inverted hammer, I went short below the body of this inverted hammer. Stop loss right here is just right here, just because it's a high price stock. So I cannot use the R3, just that wick right there of that white candlestick. So short there. VWAP was always is going to be a strong support or resistance. So took 25% there and was trailing my stop. And I was all out when it bounced off of the S3 right here. But I was able to capture that move from this level, which is 201.8 all the way to 199.53. So almost a dollar move, more than a dollar move. And with a little bit of a position with Tesla, was able to do 722 with that. So yeah, an hour and 15 minutes trading today, and was able to get 2100. Although that PLTR really is still bothering me because that's the only red trade, but it is what it is. And let's look at what PLTR is doing now. So at this point, there's no trades to take at PLTR because look at this consolidation right there. You can just get stuck with that consolidation and you will just end up paying a bunch of commissions. So no trades there. Let's look at if there's any trades that is good to be good to watch. Well, AMD is now touching first touch 1, 2, 3, 4. Had a 4 touch in this 120.87. So this one is acting as a very strong support now, but you wouldn't really get to capitalize on that to the long unless SPY is in your favor. At this point, SPY found a bottom at 10.35. And at 10.35, which is this time, AMD is at this level. So a strategy here is if it touch again 120.79, looking at the daily 120.79, and it gives you that hammer, a big volume bar to the upside, and you see a big ask sitting right here with a big volume bar right here as well, then that can be a potential to the long. But right now, no trades to take yet because this can just test the low of the day, 120.85. AI, no trades to take here. Look at this consolidation right there. So nothing to take. And then PLTR, again, consolidation, so nothing to do there. This one about to test again, 196.21. Still has some room to go here because of the daily, still looks very bearish. AMD have tested this level a couple of times, but look at what the SPY did. SPY had that false breakout, almost looking like it's about to test the VWAP, but we found that very high or long wick right there, which is very bearish and looks like it's about to test the low of the day again. So no trades to take there. MU, not a lot of volume here, and not a clean trades here, not a clean candlestick. It's not clean because at first, just looking at it, look at how small this candlestick is and look at how long this candlestick took for this one just to have that little bit of a move. So, and it's forming that doji, so not a lot of movements there. So you don't want to trade a stock where you will just end up being stuck in a trade. SoFi is, let's see here, the good trade here was the short at 6.7 with a stop loss of 6.8, so 10 cents, and 6.61 first target here, so that would be 1-to-1, and it can have the potential to test again this level at 6.41, but only at 6.7. So let's go back on this. So let's say 6.7 is the entry to the short. Now I'm not going to be opening new positions now because I am done with my trade, but looking for some trades for those of you guys who would like to take some trades here. AAL, no signs of bounce here yet. Testing the yesterday's closing price, but no signs of bounce. This one very cheap, 50 cents. Apple have this. I was looking at Apple earlier. You have the V reversal here. Looks like it had found the bottom at 177.4 and now doing that strong move again. And the volume is not there though, so this can be a potential for a short. I just don't like trading stock at the VWAP because VWAP can just turn into a support or a resistance. So in VWAP, expect at this point that would just be a place of consolidation. Rivian have found and tested yesterday's low at 14.48. Not a lot of movement here though. Look at this one. We are just at 11 a.m. and it's hardly moving. It's just 6.7 million shares, so not moving as much, not a lot of liquidity. Liquidity that's I'm talking about is, look at the movement right here of that level 2 and the tape. So that's the type of liquidity that you want. So it tested again 120.81 and SPY testing as well that low of the day, and yeah, that can be a potential for long, that AMD. Tesla we went over. So let's see here, volume is not there when it's pushing down. This can be a potential if this closes as a red. Let's see, zooming it in. Yeah, still not ready for that reversal, just because SPY is still not ready for reversal. Not a lot of volume there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So an hour and 15 minutes of trading, and I hope you guys had a green trading day. And for those of you who's asking on where to begin on how to day trade for a living, please check our website out. It's called eCourse Unlock, and with that you get to see how day traders are doing their analysis and how we trade. We get to share our top trading strategy here, which we are now offering for free. If you want to check that one out, please hit the link here so you can download that 20 pages of our opening range breakdown, opening range breakout strategy. Also, we do have our services that is currently offered, the course that is currently offered, our book that is now available in Amazon. Please do check that one out. It's called Day Trading Unlocked by Mary de Guzman, and our syllabus is there. We add to the content every week, so learning never stops. So please check that one out. And yeah, I hope you guys have a green trading day, and we'll do it again. And so thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit and subscribe to our channel so you get to know and get the alert once we have a new content of this trading strategies. So thank you so much, and have a green and a good trading day. Have a good one, and bye.